Hello again, welcome to another lesson. Today we are doing an introduction to seventh chords. These chords may be new to some of you, but they can go a long way in transforming your playing, because we are trying to break the monotony of playing the same open chords and the bar chords. We are trying to play some newer chords, and this lesson is about the seventh chords. Now, the seventh chords are we have seventh chords using the fifth string as the root, and we have also seventh chords using the sixth string as the root. So if you're interested in learning the guitar in detail, we have developed an acoustic guitar beginners, intermediate, and advanced courses where you can learn just beyond what we post here on YouTube. You can learn the concepts that we teach in much more detail. So with that being said, let's get straight into the lesson. These chords that I'm teaching you in this lesson are actually the beginner jazz chords, but they can be used in normal contexts as well. What I just played in the intro is Alice Kamande's Nikupende Wewe song. I did a lesson for the song, a tutorial for the song in the previous post that I uploaded. I did the song using some simple open beginner chords, but for the intro to this lesson, I did it using the seventh chords, and it still sounds as great. Okay, so these chords will definitely sound great if you know how to use them correctly. So the chords are we have the seventh chords that use the fifth string as the root and also the sixth string as the root. And so in this lesson we shall look at four main types of the seventh chords. We shall look at the major seventh chords, the minor seventh, the diminished seventh, and also the dominant seventh, both on the sixth string and on the fifth string. But we shall start on the sixth string. Okay, so now what you need to understand at this point, we do not need to use our plectrum. So now the thumb will play the root of the chord, which in this case is either the sixth string or the fifth string. And then the index, middle, and ring will play the D string, G string, and B string respectively. Okay, so if the thumb plays maybe the sixth string or the fifth string, the index, middle, and ring are going to play the D string, G string, and B string. Okay, so the first chord that we are looking at for the sixth string, we are going to use the root G. So we shall start with the G major seventh chord. For the G major seventh chord, I have the index finger on third fret of the low E string, and then my ring finger is on fourth fret of the D string, this note. The little finger is on fourth fret of the G string, and the middle finger is on third fret of the B string. Okay, and so again, remember we've said the thumb is playing the root, and then the index, middle, and ring is playing the D string, G string, and B string. Okay, so we have this as the G major seventh chord. And then the G minor seventh chord, we have the ring finger is doing a bar on third fret of the D string, G string, and B string. Okay, these notes. And then the middle finger is on third fret of the low E string. Okay, so this is our G minor seventh chord. Okay, for the middle finger, it is fretting this note, third fret of the low E string, but as well, I'm using the finger to mute the fifth string, because we do not need the fifth string for this chord. Okay. Okay, so you need to get that correctly. The next chord that we are looking at is the G diminished seventh chord. Okay, so we have the index doing a bar on the second fret of the D string, G string, and B string, and then the middle finger is on third fret of the G string, and then the ring finger is on third fret of the low E string. Okay, so we have this as as our G diminished seventh chord. Okay, the index is doing a bar on second fret of the D, G, and B strings, and then the middle is on third fret of the G string, and the ring finger is on third fret of the low E string. That's our G diminished seventh chord. And then the final chord is the G dominant seventh chord. For this chord, we have the index on third fret of the low E string, which is the root, and then the middle finger is on third fret of the D string, the ring finger on third fret of the B string, and then the little finger on fourth fret of the G string. Okay? And also remember the picking, okay? The thumb plays the root, and then the index, middle, and ring on the D string, G string, and B string. This is the G dominant seventh chord, okay? So those are all the chords on that we are looking at in this lesson on the sixth string. And now we shall look at the chords on that use the fifth string as the root. And for these chords, we are going to use the root C. Okay, so we shall start with the C major seventh chord. For the C major seventh chord, I have my index on third fret of the A string, which is actually the root, and I'm using the same finger to do kind of a bar, okay, across all these strings from the fifth string to the B string, okay, from the fifth string to the second string, okay, and then the middle finger is on fourth fret of the G string, and then the ring finger is on fifth fret of the D string, and the little finger is on fifth fret of the B string. Okay, so we have this as our C major seventh chord. Okay, so we have the index doing a bar from string number 5 to string number 2, and then the middle finger is on fourth fret of the G string, and then the ring finger is on fifth fret of the D string, and the little finger is on fifth fret of the B string. We have this as our C major seventh chord. For the C minor seventh chord, I'll just lift my little finger from the chord, okay? I'll just lift my little finger, and then with the middle finger shifts from playing the G string to the B string, okay? And this becomes our C minor seventh chord. Okay, again, this was the C major seventh chord. I just lifted my little finger and then shifted the middle finger to the B string. Okay, so for the C minor seventh chord, again I have the index finger doing a bar on the third fret of the fifth to the second string, and then my middle finger is on fourth fret of the B string, and my ring finger is on fifth fret of the D string. So this is my C minor seventh chord. And then for the C diminished seventh chord, I'll have my index on second fret of the G string, okay? Second fret of the G string, and then I have my middle finger on the root, third fret of the A string, which is the C, and then I have the ring finger on fourth fret of the D string, and then the little finger is on fourth fret of the B string. Okay, so play the notes together, this is what we get. And this is the C diminished seventh chord. And then the last chord, we have the C dominant seventh chord. For the C dominant seventh chord, I have my index doing a bar on the 3rd fret from the 5th string all the way to the 2nd string, okay? And then the little finger is on 5th fret D string, the ring finger 5th fret D string, and then the little finger 5th fret of the B string. And we have this as the C dominant 7th chord. And so these are all the chords that we are learning today in this lesson. Again, we have said this is the G major 7th, okay, the G minor 7th, and then the G dominant 7th chord, and then the G diminished 7th chord, okay. And then for the chords using the 5th string as the root, we have said this is the C major 7th, and then this is the C dominant 7th, the C minor 7th, okay, and then of course the C diminished 7th chord. And now for the chord scale, maybe the G major chord scale, okay. So we have number 1 as the G major 7th, okay, and then the number 2 A minor 7th chord, and then the number 3 B minor 7th chord, and then the number 4 is the C major 7th chord. The number 5 is the number 5 becomes a dominant 7th chord, okay. So the number 5 is a D dominant 7th chord. The number 6 is the E minor 7th chord. And then the number 7 is the F sharp diminished 7th chord. And then back to number 1, the G major 7th chord. And then for the chord scale of C major, we have our number 1 as the C major 7th chord. And then the number 2 is a D minor 7th chord. Number 3 is the E minor 7th chord. Number 4 is the F major 7th chord. Number 5, the G major 7th, the G dominant 7th chord for the number 5. And then the number 6 is the A minor 7th chord, okay. And then the number 7 is the B diminished 7th chord, and then back to number 1, the C major 7th chord, okay. So these chords are very easy. You can just take any song that you like. Like for my case, I just go with the Nikupende Wewe song, and then just replace the chords in the progression. Just make them either major 7th, minor 7th, or the dominant 7th chords, okay. The Nikupende Wewe song uses the chords, it's in the key of F flat. So we have F flat as our number 1, okay. We are using these chords for this song. We have the F flat, and then we have the D flat. We have the E flat chord. And then we have the F minor 7th chord, okay. So just try to experiment and see how it sounds. And thank you for watching. See you in the next lesson.